Welcome back, Boops here with some PS3 pickups today, as well as some consoles and accessories. Some of these games came in a bundle and they don't have official cover art, but that's okay because they are duplicates. I already have them in my collection. So I originally started on the PS2, but the PS3 was when I was old enough to earn my own money and buy my own games. My PS3 collection over the last 2 years has overgrown my largest collection of the PSP. My dad got us a PS3 soon after launch. 1 for the games, and 2 because he wanted a Blu-ray player. Thanks, Dad. Starting off with Katamari Forever for the PS3. I really got into this series in the last couple of years. I played the original Katamari 1 and 2 remakes on the PS5. I also played the PlayStation Vita version and the PSP version. I recently picked up the Xbox 360 version, as well as the originals on PS2. You can check out gameplay for those in my Xbox and PS2 pickup videos. It's a very relaxing puzzle game where you roll around a ball and try and make it bigger to complete challenges and levels. This one was a PS3 exclusive that lacked online play, unlike the Xbox version. But the PlayStation version still had local multiplayer and leaderboards. There are different graphic visual styles to choose from, like cel-shaded, colored pencil, and wood grain. They added 2 new abilities, like the Prince Hop and the King Shock. Out of the 34 stages, only 3 were new. It got some backlash for not adding enough new features to the game, but it was also hailed as being one of the most polished Katamari games. Overall, great series. You can play it on a lot of consoles. I recommend trying any of the games. Next, we have the Red Faction Collection for the PS3. This includes Red Faction 1, 2, 3, which was called Guerrilla, and 4, which they called Armageddon. The series is known for the struggle of the working people, usually miners. The first 2 games are FPSs with environmental destruction that they called the GeoMod engine. It was really cool to see this engine working back then. They were released in 2001 and 2002, and it had a really cool rebellious story.
Mars. I always thought of it as a romantic place, a planet of mystery and adventure. Came here 6 months ago thinking it would be an escape from Earth. I wanted some time to think, to figure out what to do with my life. A year in the Altor mine sounded like a great way to straighten myself out. Man, was I a fool.
The third game in the series, called Guerrilla, which is the one I played the most of, they switched to third-person, open world, where everything is destructible, including buildings. But this time the terrain wasn't destructible.
There's a PDF cargo with an APC on the move. We need someone to stop it and bring that APC to a safe house.
This was a really cool engine to see back in 2009, running on a console. It's still a lot of fun to play with today. Then they had Red Faction Armageddon, which is the 4th game in the series. This one is more linear, not so open world, and you're mostly in like tunnels and caverns. It still uses the GeoMod engine, so the buildings are destructible. But not as cool because you're kind of stuck underground. I never played that much of Armageddon.
But heroes have enemies, and one, a self-styled messiah named Adam Hale, has returned with an army to conquer Mars. It's a war he's losing. Now Hale's cultists have captured the terraformer, the one thing keeping our atmosphere stable, and plan to destroy it. If the terraformer goes down, we go down with it.
Next we have Africa, which was also known as Hakuna Matata in other regions. It's a photography and safari simulation game. They also label it as a life simulation game. This was more of an early tech demo that Sony kind of pushed into being a game. It's often compared to Nintendo 64's Pokemon Snap. Africa and Japan came out in 2008, and the North American version came out in 2009. The North American version right now, a used copy, starts around $220 Canadian. Whereas if you want a Japanese copy, they're like 20 bucks. So I decided to just grab a Japanese copy to add to my library. And it was kind of a coincidence that around the same time, I also found a Japanese PS3 for sale. In general, it's a mediocre game, but it has a great soundtrack. So here we have the PlayStation 3 Fat White model. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if this is PS2 backwards compatible. I'd have to check that. I mostly wanted it because it was a white PlayStation 3 and I thought it would look good in my display case next to the black one. But it also kind of worked out that it's a Japanese version since I have one Japanese game I wanted to test. Alright, moving on. Next we have Catherine. This is a puzzle game made by the same people who made Persona. You play as the main character Vincent Brooks, who has supernatural nightmares. At daytime he interacts with other characters, but during the night he has to complete these 3D platformer puzzles. And the ending of the game is affected by choices that Vincent makes. But yeah, I don't know too much about this.
Our hero in this story is Vincent Brooks, age 32. He's an earnest and kind man. But one day, we begin to see him have terrifying nightmares. On top of that, a torrent of sweet seduction swoops down upon him. What a playboy, huh?
Next, we have some steelbook editions of Call of Duty to add to the collection. I already had most of these. We'll also take the chance to check online servers for each of these. Starting with Modern Warfare 2. What a classic. I don't think I need to say too much about these Call of Duties. I remember I mostly played this at my neighbor's house. We'd usually do 4-player split screen. At the time, I was playing Battlefield on my PlayStation at home. And it looks like we can find some games here. Next we have Black Ops. This is one of the zombie modes I really went hard on. At least for the default theater map. I remember getting up to insane levels and just quitting because 8-10 hours have passed. And it looks like people are still playing Black Ops Online. Next we have Black Ops 2. I barely remember this game. I know they expanded the zombies maps and people really enjoyed zombies on this one. Online is still functioning and you can find games.
Throwing smoke.
Our last Call of Duty. Here we have Ghosts. This is probably one of my favorite Call of Duties. It was fast, and I remember purchasing the Snoop Dogg narration pack, which allowed Snoop Dogg to narrate my matches. I thought that was so badass.
Team deathmatch. Time to put in some work. Enemy SATCOM spotted. They see. Watch that SATCOM. Friendly SATCOM up in the hazy. Guard dog ready? Yeah, them pussies afraid. Juggernaut Maniac ready for delivery. Go wild. Team has Juggernaut Maniac armor. Step to him. We going platinum tonight. SATCOM uplink enabled. Yeah, boy. Yo, dog dead, dog. Y'all was straight gangster that round. That's how we do it.
And once again, there are still people playing online. You can still find games. So, speaking of ghosts, we also got the Prestige edition of Call of Duty Ghosts. Open her up and we'll see we have the same steelbook inside. I have literally 4 of these steelbooks now throughout my collection. Next, we have a paraglider's cord or something like that. This was also available in the hardened edition, which I have. But the main thing in the Prestige edition is the tactical cam. It's a 1080 HD camera that you can mount in various ways. It comes with a bunch of different mounting accessories. We'll do a quick test in the game room. It is a camera from 2013, so I don't know what to expect. Alright. We are recording. I can't see what we're recording. I'm assuming this has a mic. I have no idea what that's going to sound like. I think I found the mic hole. I think that's gotta be the mic hole. Yeah, I have no idea what this is going to look like. But we're in the game room. I should turn on these lights. Boom. How's that? What do you guys think? But that actually doesn't look too bad. I'm going to do a full test with this camera where we will go outside and film a variety of things with it. But that will be in a separate video. I'll leave a link to that video once it's available. That's it for our Call of Duty games. Next, we have Doze X. I don't know how to pronounce this. Human Revolution, the Augmented Edition. This is a action RPG, immersive sim, FPS, stealth game. I've never played it, but I've heard amazing things about this game. You play as a security officer working for a company that makes artificial organs. And there is freedom of choice that will lead to some story events playing out differently. The Augmented Edition includes an exclusive bonus DVD featuring a 44-minute making of, the game soundtrack, an E3 trailer and animated storyboard, the motion graphic novel, adapted from the official series by DC Comics, and a 40-page art book. Once again, don't know too much about this, but I heard really good things, and I'll have to try it at some point.
Crowds continue to gather in front of the Capitol. Most are demanding that Congress severely restrict efforts to alter the human body's abilities. This in response to claims made by biotechnology expert David Serif that his firm may have discovered a way to make human-controlled evolution available to all.
Alright, up next, Thor, an action-adventure game. I watched Mind Pulp on YouTube talk about this game. This is like a really bad Thor or superhero game in general. Watch their video for a more comprehensive review. I was never big into Marvel, but I always liked their movies. Recently, though, it's just been a little too much, and I haven't seen 90% of the new films. Also, while researching online this game, I found out that it's playable in 3D on a 3D TV using your PlayStation 3, and also on the Xbox 360, which I never even knew had a 3D capabilities. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense that it does, but I just never knew. And also, you can apparently watch it in 3D on a 2D TV using those red and blue glasses. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I gotta test this one day. But that sounds ridiculous. Anyways, in general, this one's a bad superhero game. You can just skip. Unless it's a $5 game you can add to your collection. Alright, next we have Turning Point Fall of Liberty. What a trash game. This is probably one of the worst PS3 games. I remember back when they still had Future Shop, I believe. They started to sell used games, and they attempted this program where you could trade your old used game for a new copy of either Battlefield Hardline, Call of Duty Ghosts, or Assassin's Creed Black Flag for the PS3. So you'd bring any used game and you get a new copy of one of those 3 games. And I remember trading in Turning Point, which literally at the time, I think it was like a $2 game used, if anyone would even actually pay for it. And I remember trading in for Ghosts, since I already had Hardline. GameStop around the same time had a promotion where you could take your old used PS3 copy and get upgraded to a PS4 copy for $10. So I took Ghosts, which was still sealed, and traded in for $10 for the PS4 version of Ghosts. Thanks Future Shop and GameStop. Anyways, the game itself really bad. You can skip it. The idea of the game was really cool. It was like an alternate history where Winston Churchill dies, and Germany takes over Europe and eventually invades the United States. And that's where the game starts, is the invasion. So, really cool idea, but really bad game. Next, we have Fight Night Round 4. I don't have too much experience with these games. We played Fight Night Round 3, me and my friend. And when we tried 4, we felt it was a little slower and more sluggish. Maybe that's because it seems like it's a new engine, and it's the first game with the new engine.
Time out! Time! I warned you about your head. That's 1 point. 1 point.
Then we have Fight Night Champion. I briefly tried this one. It came out after round 4. And it feels like they improved from the sluggish gameplay. A little more fast now. We have NHL 14. I've never played a hockey game, and I'm not trying now. We got FIFA 13. This is more my style. Let's go.
EA Sports Football Club is back for FIFA 13, and we're proud to announce 2 big new features: EA Sports Football Club Match Day and the Catalogue. Tries his luck, and he's put it away. And it's the captain who celebrates scoring the goal.
Well, what a bonus to have a player like that in your ranks and to be leading you out there.
We got Little Big Planet. I don't think I have to say much. This is a classic creation game where you can make your own levels.
Planet Earth. Or as the rest of the Omniverse call it, the Orb of Dreamers. The occupants of which spend so much time asleep and dreaming. Their vast imaginations humming away, charged with creative energy. Where does it all go? up through a cerebroumbilical cord where it collects and melds with all the other dreamers' energy. And something wonderful happens. It forms a world, an ethereal dreamscape of adventure and possibilities. An abstract plane of beautiful wonderment just waiting to be explored. And you can go there now.
We got Mod Nation Racers, same people from Little Big Planet. It's kind of like a Mario-ish kart racer with heavy customization. You can customize your rider, your kart, and you can make your own tracks. And there's a lot you can do with the track maker. Everyone forgets about this game, including me. It feels a little sluggish, but it's still a lot of fun.
Welcome one, welcome all to the new season of the MRC, the Mod Nation Racing Championship. 28 of the most exciting, exploding, life-threatening demolition kart races in the whole wide world.
Karting fans and drivers alike are getting revved up for tomorrow's season qualifiers.
I'm the gorgeous Biff Treadwell, and with me as always is painfully boring statman, Gary Raisins.
Actually, Biff, it's Reasons, Gary Reasons.
After 10 years, I still don't care. Racing has been with us from the dawn of time, and for millennia the concept of racing stayed the same. But in 1931, entrepreneur Marcus Ramses Callahan had an idea that would change racing forever. The Mod Nation Racing Championship was born and rose to become the premier international karting competition ever in the world. Legends were made, forged in the dust and oil and glory of the track. And like racing, all champions have an origin. So the question remains, where will the next champion come from?
We got Far Cry 3. This is a classic. I just talked about Far Cry 2 in my last pickup video. Far Cry 3 changed the series and the direction it was going in. The story at the time was really cool and crazy to see. And many people still argue whether Far Cry 2 or 3 is better. They're both so different that I don't think you can really compare them. They're both great games. I think I would recommend you trying both of them.
People think you're crazy, huh? Jumping out of airplanes, flying like birds. That is crazy. I like this phone. This is a nice fucking phone. I'm sorry, what did you say? What did you say? Do you want me to slice you open like I did your friend? Shut the fuck up! Okay? I'm the one with the fucking dick. Look at me. Look me in the fucking eye. Hey! You fuck! Look me in the eye. You're my bitch. I rule this fucking kingdom. Shut the fuck up, or you die. What is it, Jason? Jason, what is it? Why aren't you laughing now like you did up there? What, is this not fun anymore? Have I failed to entertain you?
Next we have Resistance 2. Another classic series I love. I recently played the PSP version on the PS5. Really good PlayStation exclusive. For those of you who don't know, Resistance 2 is an FPS game where you're defending America against the invasion of aliens called the Chimera. And the game was praised for its scale of enemies and environments. Then we got Twisted Metal. I never really got into this series, but it's still pretty cool. Twisted Metal focuses heavily on multiplayer vehicle combat. There's a bunch of different characters and vehicles to choose from, different weapons to use and pickups. This is another great PlayStation exclusive.
Looks like Calypso's got himself another driver for this year's contest.
Which brings us to the end of the games. We have a couple more pickups to look at though. We have another PlayStation 3 Slim, a lot smaller than the fat model. You can see the difference. They also introduced this weird tray mechanism where the tray opens up in a very weird manner. This was to save on costs and to make the PlayStation 3 Slim super cheap. I also got the official PlayStation 3 Slim stand. That's pretty cool. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I bought some of these items in a bundle. So here we have a shit ton of PlayStation 3 controllers. Really dope to have some backup controllers. They even came with the official PlayStation controller charging dock, where you can charge 2 controllers. You do need this additional little dongle, which is kind of annoying, but it is an official PlayStation product, so that's cool. And we also have some 3D printed stands. And lastly, we have an additional controller, still boxed, new, sealed. That's going to look great next to the DualShock 4 I still have boxed. Kind of wish I had a PS2 controller boxed, but that's probably super rare now. That completes the PlayStation 3 pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something new. Check out my other pickup videos. I should have the Xbox and the PlayStation 2 videos up very soon, if not now. I'll have links to them in the description or at the end of the video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.